Danny Jacobs is a big kid, but you're talking about different kinds of fighters too in power. So,
who was the bigger puncher, you or Triple G?
You know what? I said there was another guy too that everybody took the credit away from. You know, they're quick to forget that in 2007, Edison Miranda was the most feared fighter in boxing. He was. Now I say that Miranda is not as technically sound, nowhere near as Triple G. But power-wise, I think Edison Miranda hit harder than Triple G. And I went in there and took his shots, backed him up, and did what I did. As a matter of fact, I stopped him in the 7th round. You know, there's a lot of guys, but he hit harder than Triple G. Triple G ain't fought nobody like that, though. He hasn't fought Miranda's. He hasn't fought an Arthur Abraham. You know, people forget about that guy at middleweight, who was a tank. And, of course, me. Jermaine Taylor was a 6'2", big middleweight. These guys for Triple G, and it's not his fault, but it's been lack of in the middleweight division.
Was there ever talk of you fighting Triple G at all?
No, I mean, my God, you got to remember, I've been retired 5 years now, and by that time I was already a year into the super middleweight division, and I don't even know how many fights Triple G would have had at that time.
Kelly, thinking of fighters that Golovkin hasn't faced, we were out there in New York, and we seen Jamal Charlo get his knockout win, and now he's calling out, Golovkin or the winner of this fight. How do you think he fares against the winner of this fight?
I haven't, I can't give a fair assessment on that. I haven't seen enough of Charlo. I haven't.
Have you watched his other fights before that one, though?
I'm talking about it, but against his opposition, first of all, and then jumping up to that weight class. I mean, I would say get your feet wet with a couple fights before you jump into a Triple G at middleweight. But it's still out there. When I see him beat a marquee name and do it like really good and convincing, then I say, you know what, this kid, he's the real deal. But he just hasn't shown me yet, me personally, in my opinion, that he's there at that weight class.
I think he would be real tough for either one of them at that division. But like you said, it'll be interesting to see how he does against other middleweights. But he's the #1 contender now for Golovkin's belt right now.
Exactly. So give him a fight, though. He's #1. Even if you got to put him in there with somebody who's going to give him the rounds, but put him in there with somebody he's going to get the win, get a feel for that, and then give him a shot at the winner in this fight. I think that he fares better against the Canelo than he does against Triple G.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because styles, first of all, and that Canelo's a smaller guy.
Because Canelo's a smaller guy.
What about Daniel Jacobs? Would you favor him against the winner of this fight, or would you favor the winner?
Well, another thing that's going against Triple G is father time. I mean, everybody age is different. Not everybody's a Bernard Hopkins. Not everybody's a Mayweather. And I think we've seen signs. It's hard to tell with Mayweather. Mayweather has over 700 days off at the age of 40, so that all played into one factor. But everybody ages different. Okay, so Triple G's what? My age, 36 maybe?
Yeah, 35.
36. So in baseball, which is nowhere near as demanding on the body as boxing is, you hear them call a 34-year-old hitter, this veteran's up to bat, and they lose their reflexes, everything else, and that happens. So who knows with Triple G too, like how he's going to be after this. And it could work in Danny Jacobs' favor. The longer they go for the rematch, the better it is for Jacobs. But again, you never know what's going to happen on the night of the fight.
Was there ever a pinpoint moment in a fight or in the gym where you said, I'm not feeling like the same Kelly Pavlik anymore?
No, not really, to be honest with you. For me, it was, I upped and left my hometown. I went to California to train, and I fought some lower guys at that point. But which Top Rank did a great job on that, though, because I was breaking into a new trainer. That's what Top Rank does good. A lot of these promoters get their guys with a brand new trainer, and that first fight with that trainer, they put him into a huge bout. You got a whole new chemistry that you're trying to work on. 8 weeks is not enough time to get that broken down. So slowly break your way in, and I loved it out there with Robert Garcia. But that Andre Ward fight, I was fighting guys like Scott Sigmans and Aaron Jacobs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I had the Andre Ward fight lined up, and I was really pumped about that. Obviously, I think the biggest fight of my career it would have been. And then all of a sudden he gets hurt, unfortunately, and that's when he was out for the year and a half, 2 years, shoulder. There was no meaningful fights out there either. A lot of these big-time fighters were a contract for other fights. I was looking at minimum a year until I got back in. I lost it on that, you know, not fully, but it wasn't all here. And boxing is not a sport that, you know, you can at that level go into it like that. And didn't need the money, don't need the belts. You know, I have them, got the money. I accomplished what I wanted to, and I walked off. I mean, big problem. A lot of guys stick around, and unfortunately, people remember the ending of their careers, and I don't want that.
Speaking of Andre Ward, who would you say right now is pound for pound the best fighter in the world?
Obviously, Andre Ward, and then I have it up in the air. I think there's a lot of people that I got to fight, and a lot of big fights coming up, where you can slowly start putting in that top 5 or top 10. Andre Ward, you know, even say at when the Rigo and Lomachenko fight.
That was my next question.
Yeah, say that fight goes off, even the winner of that. They still haven't done enough. I mean, I think we easily forget what Andre Ward has accomplished and who he has fought.
He's beat a lot of pound for pound fighters that was on that list
exactly.
too.
So I think that he has that spot locked down, and these guys better step on the gas against other opponents if they want to take that spot, or just keep fighting until Andre Ward retires.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. So I think everybody after these couple big fights, this Triple G Canelo fight and everything else, you can really start. Crawford gets in there with a big guy at 47, then you could have an easier time putting these guys into place in the top 10.
Last one for you, Kelly. Is there any way, because these two guys can box when they want to, that this fight doesn't turn into the kind of exchanges and war throughout that people want?
I think it's eventually going to. It may not. I think it is. Again, they get a little tired at the end of the fight. And when you get tired, you don't have the energy to box. You usually sit down in the pocket, start putting turning your hips and everything into it, and try to land what you can. Hopefully, hurt somebody. I think towards the end of the fight, the latter rounds, I see that happening.
Who wins the fight? Who is your final prediction?
It's gonna be a good fight. Hey, listen.
You don't want to win.
I'm in the media now, and I got my own show, and I gotta look good when I make these predictions, right? So you gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them. So, yeah, I'm not making a prediction. I'm going to sit back as a big boxing fan and watch this fight unfold. Again, I say I'm leaning towards Canelo, so that way if Canelo wins, I can be like, man, I told you guys. I should have went with my instinct on that. But, no, I can't give you a winner.
Rigo versus Loma, who you lean towards in that one?
I go with Lomachenko, one reason, size. Or to take that back, make it 2 reasons: size and the way he fights. Rigo, to me, they both are almost identical in the moves they make when they're boxing. Okay, how they fight. Rigo to me is more of a boxer. Like I'm talking about, he moves more on the feet, and then he hits you, but he has great power too. As Lomachenko actually has a lot of power, and he only does it when he wants to in fights, and you can hear it. But Lomachenko is more in your chest too, though. You know, he gets in there and he throws a lot of punches, and he tries to take you out while making good moves. I think the reason why I take Lomachenko is that with his size, and if he brings the fight to Rigondeaux like he does, or is the aggressor in that fight, I think he could squeak out a decision in that.
You think
very tactical fight, honestly.
So you think he'll be that active against a style like Rigo's? Because usually they kind of nullify people's punch output. You know, those type of styles.
It's going to not look like he's going to try it, but I think it's going to look like it to the judges. You know what I mean? He's going to try to put the pressure on Rigo. Rigo's going to move, but Rigo's going to try and counter. Again, where it can come into a boring fight for just boxing fans who don't really know boxing, and they kind of just like to watch it for the names, it's going to be a boring fight. I think for us, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, you're going to see some shots here and there, but these guys are 2 very defensive fighters who take pride in not getting hit. And but again, what I'm saying is I think Lomachenko is going to put the pressure on more, and he's going to land some more shots, and he's probably going to throw more. And at the end of the fight, it's going to look better on punch stats and everything else, coffee box.
Yeah, what do you think about United Kovalev?
Problems come into play, and that's it. You can be the best athlete, you can be the best fighter in the world. You get tired, you can't call timeout and say, Coach, hey, bring this guy in. I'm going to sit these next couple plays out. You can't do that. And that fight with Andre, and then the rematch, anytime you give Andre Ward time to prepare for another fight with you, he's already a smart fighter as is. You see in the first fight how he changed that fight, which I still thought Kovalev won that, but how he changed in the second half of that fight and made that fight closer. And obviously, Kovalev was a little worse for wear at the end of that fight, but in the second fight, you give him time to really sit down and break down, and with his talent, he went there. But them body shots, Kovalev didn't like that, and that was also a part of conditioning too. You know, so that all came into play. And other than that, though, you know, I respect Kovalev a lot. I mean, the guy can fight.
Is he on a decline now, or if you could put money on it?
I can't make that assessment. You know, that was the last fight, and just like people were saying with this Roman Chocolate
Gonzalez, yeah.
Gonzalez, yeah, they were saying it for me.
He's been looking bad since the Kadras fight. Not bad, but he's looked a little different since the Kadras
that's
fight.
his style, but everybody's already knocking him, who's a warrior and accomplished a lot in the sport. I mean, people have bad nights in a fight. You get in there, you feel great in training camp, and you get in that fight, and it's just not your night. And I keep saying this: it's a lonely sport. You can't call timeout. And you know, he could have just had a bad night. Like, don't rate him off. Yeah, give him another fight. And if he comes in and looks like that in his next fight, then you may want to sit him down as a manager or trainer and say, you know what? Like I said earlier, Father Time is catching up, man. You also took some shots. Time to hang him up. But don't count these guys out too quick. And same with Kovalev. Let's see what he does in his next fight. You know,
against Shabransky.
Yeah, if he gets a different strength and training coach, maybe that's a problem. If he goes in there and looks like he did, or he tires in the 4th or 5th round, well, then you just know that this guy is going to be a career get tired 4th, 5th round, and that any big fight with somebody who could get past a couple rounds with him, what's going to happen?
For example, if you would be a trainer of Kovalev, what advice you will give to Kovalev, for example, for the future?
Stay with your trainer 24 hours, and you're going to go run on a running program, and I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to tap into it. I really don't. But, you know, my thing is he has to change some things. And he's on borrowed time, too, as far as age. You know, he's not a spring chicken in the sport. So, you know, it's a small window in this sport. It really is. And whatever he's doing now, he's got to change quickly. As far as conditioning for fights or whatever he does preparing for a fight. And that's really the only advice I can give. You know, he's got the power, and you can't train, you can't give people that. You can't train to get that. He was naturally born with the gifts that he has that got him to where he's at. So his job now is to work on the other parts.
Kelly, looking at the damage that Roman has taken over the last couple of fights, how important is defense in this game?
It's very important. It really is. You know, I got knocked in my career in a lot of fights. I was very good at picking off shots. You know, it looked like I was getting hit. But even then, you know, you don't want to take shots. You know, I think the biggest insult is like, man, he's got a hell of a chin. You know? Kind of like in a weird way, you're like, oh, that's cool, yeah, I can take a punch, but then you're like, wait a minute, man, how the hell do you know I got that good of a chin? But you know, it's important.
You shorten your career, obviously, right?
You know what? Though, the fights are the glamorous part of boxing. The trauma and the damage don't come from the fights that we see. Yeah, I mean, people really don't acknowledge the fact that you train 2 months. Some fighters, maybe training camp is 2.5 months, 3 months. And my God, you spar 12 rounds, maybe, or 10 rounds twice a week, 8 rounds. I've seen gym wars. I've seen more people hurt and knocked out in the gym sparring than I have in real fights. Now you figure you take a kid that starts like, okay, me for instance, at 9 years old, and amateurs, you're in all these tournaments, you fight 5 days a week. You train, obviously, you're in Olympic training centers or whatnot. You're sparring. Then you get to the pros, you're fighting 10 rounds, 12 rounds, 8 rounds, 3 minutes. Now you're sparring some of the best guys you're bringing in training camp, sparring partners. You got one guy come in, he spars 4 rounds. You bring in another prospect, he spars 4 rounds fresh. You're getting hit in the head. You're taking trauma, punishment. That's where it comes into play, and that's where the wear on the tires come into play. You know, in a long part of a career. You know, a lot of them guys look at the Philly fighters. You know, Philadelphia was notorious for gym wars, and look where it's gone now. So, you know, when people see these fights, they go, "Oh, he's going to be punchy." It might be from something else other than the fights. So,
thanks for your time, Kelly.
No problem.
All right, man.
You guys
All right, y'all. Dante's Boxing Nation. We over here in the media room right now. Everybody did round tables. It was Canelo's trainer and Golovkin's trainer, Abel Sanchez. And now we just wrapping it up. I'm about to get up out of here. Been up here for quite some time now. So that's pretty much what it is. Straighten up my hat. Look a little crooked. But yeah, y'all, that's pretty much what it is. We'll catch up with you guys on the next one. What's going on, y'all?
That shit was dope, right?
Yeah, it was real cool. Yeah, I got my man.
Breaking it down.
No, yeah, he's real good. I got Canelo. I don't know who Sean got right here, but
What's happening?
my man Sean over here, the boxing voice. Who you got, Sean?
I got Canelo Alvarez by a hard-earned, deserved unanimous decision.
Yes.
115, 113 kind of fight.
Yeah.
So I got him on the his overall, better hand speed. I think overall it's close, but he's a better overall boxer. And most importantly, his counter-punching abilities could take away what Triple G really does best, which is go after you and put pressure on you all night long. And I'm interested to see if Triple G puts the kind of pressure we're used to seeing once he feels Canelo's counters. And if at that point he tries to fight Canelo all night like he did Lemieux, I think the jab won't be enough to just beat Canelo basically on the jab all night. I would imagine Canelo will find a way to counter over that jab with the right or jab with him. So I think Canelo's going to show everything he's possibly learned in all of his 50 professional fights and put it all to use in this fight and pull it off.
Great breakdown, Sean. Great breakdown.
Yeah.
I see Canelo as the more confident fighter, not just his experience, but I keep going back to it, Sean. The fact that you look at how Golovkin looked in the Danny Jacobs fight, it looked like he had a little bit of lack of confidence. And I just believe that Canelo is more of a confident fighter. I believe that Canelo might even make Golovkin shell up a little bit more. He may make him more safety first. I mean, they're both going to respect each other, but I just see Canelo, just been a little bit more aggressive once Canelo lands some good shots on Golovkin. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
No, I see it that everyone's talking about if they get into a gunfight, why would Canelo want to do that? Because Triple G is maybe the biggest puncher in boxing, pound for pound. But if you can't land the shot, what's it matter? I think Canelo might actually welcome the brawl because it gives him what he likes to do. It gives him counter-punching opportunities.
Absolutely.
I actually think Canelo's going to have a tougher time when Triple G's boxing like he did against Lemieux, which is why I think Triple G's going to come in and box.
Yeah.
You know what, Dante? We might even see something crazy. We might see Canelo go after Golovkin.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out of the question.
See, but that's right up my alley, though. That's kind of how I see this fight, though.
Right.
I see him being the more confident, aggressive fighter. And I just, I don't know if Golovkin corrected it, but I just have a feeling that he has more of a bully mentality, where he's used to being the bigger, stronger guy. And when there's somebody in there who has a skill set that can match his, or especially power and natural size, we're going to see a more timid, Golovkin.
Right.
And yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo even stops him or at least knocks him down. But that all depends on how,
Nobody
cautious.
has Canelo by a stoppage.
Yeah, nobody. But see, the thing is, if Golovkin is fighting a super cautious fight, then it'll go decision.
Right.
But if Golovkin is fighting like he fought against Steve Cunningham and all, or Curtis, Curtis Stevens?
Curtis Stevens.
And cats like that, then we might see him get hurt.
That's what I think. I mean, and I was telling people before that, okay, Canelo never hurt Lara like that. He never hurt Cotto like that, which definitely counts for a lot because those guys are smaller than Triple G. Triple G got a great chin. But when you are going away from the shots and you're being defensive and off the back foot, you're not catching them. Like when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, he was into the punch.
Yeah, ran right into it.
Right, and his momentum met with the shot.
Yeah.
And that's what could happen to Triple G if he starts getting aggressive, starts trying to pin Canelo on the ropes. He could walk into the uppercut, the same uppercut he got hit by Kell Brook with. And when he gets hit with that, if he gets hit with that same uppercut from Canelo Alvarez, maybe he won't get hurt the first time, maybe not the second time. But if he's taking them kind of shots all night, I believe Canelo can stop him.
I do too. I do too.
So,
well, great breakdown, Sean. Y'all done heard it from my man Sean. Anything else you want to say to the fans, man?
Oh, don't get me wrong, man. Triple G's a beast. So if he stops Canelo, I won't be surprised. But this is my pick. I got Canelo. So tell me I'm wrong if Triple G wins. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, just so you know, for you Triple G people out there, I'm not counting Triple G out. That'd be retarded.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if he won.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
yeah,
if
I'm
he
picking
stops
Canelo. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Right, but you're asking me to put my whatever it is I've learned in this boxing game to use and make a pick. It's Canelo Alvarez.
There it is.
So.
All right, Sean.
Thanks, Dante.
Good stuff, man.
The man right here.
There we go. There
all
we
by
go.
Himself. All us, we got to join sites and join groups. He does it on his own. So
appreciate it.
Yes,
appreciate it, family. Y'all heard it from my man, Sean, y'all. So, yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and get up out of here. Over here at the Canelo versus Golovkin media roundtables in the media room right now. I'll switch the camera and let y'all know what's going on right now. So we got Chavez, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. over there doing an interview or doing a show right now, talking about the fight, no doubt. All the media members in here getting it in. I'm about to get my bag and get up out of here, y'all. Yeah, real good fight, y'all. Real good fight this weekend. All right, y'all. For those of you guys just tuning in, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Upload some of this stuff. That's all I got for now, y'all. On to the next one.